Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome back to Gambling with Gold. My name is Jason Gold. This is Stephie Smallls. We are here to break down the Sunday slate for NFL Week 12. If you haven't watched already, go check out our YouTube video on the Thanksgiving games for the NFL. We had all three games. We broke it down. We made some good bets for Thursday Night Football. Hopefully we make some money on Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys too. All right, let's get to the Sunday slate. First game on the board, Houston Texans plus 13 at the Miami Dolphins. Total set at 46. What is your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're at that point in the season where I don't, it's too many points, double digit. Like, I don't care anymore. The Houston Texans cannot compete against Miami. This is just, there's a lot of really gross games on this slate. This is one of them. Houston's last four games, they've averaged 13.25 points per game. And Miami is, this game's going to get gross. The three games before their bye, they were averaging 35 points per game. This is probably the one time I'm fine with taking the double digits. I have no problem with it. I think all the glimmer of hope that we kind of had preseason for Mills has completely diminished. That's obviously not going to be the answer moving forward. They had 148 total yards against Washington. It's going to be pretty ugly, Miami off a bye.
That is a gross number. 89% of the bets and 99% of the money is coming on the Dolphins. No shocker, the line moved from 7 to 12, now at 13. Mm-hmm. The over is also getting hit relatively significantly. This line opened at 45. It's now up to 46. 39% of the bets and 68% of the money is coming in on the over in this game. I agree with that. I think the over 46 is probably good. I do think that the Miami Dolphins offense off a bye shouldn't matter. They're going to absolutely come in here and destroy. Can Houston cover the plus 13 as a backdoor? Maybe. That line seems a little bit too high to me. But give me the over 46 and give me the over team total on Miami. It'll probably be 28.5, something like that. I don't care. I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, let's get to Baltimore -4 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Total set at 43.5. What are we making of this Baltimore team at this point? Because that defense looked good last week against Carolina. But that offense, oh my God, did they look bad. Now they're going to be without Ronnie Stanley, it looks like. Mark Andrews back, but he didn't make that much of a difference in that game. Well, some just doesn't look 100% right with that offense for Lamar. Maybe it's the running game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And I want to throw the game last week completely out because that was just, I don't know what happened in that game. Like, I'm just going to ignore that and look past that because they had, you look at their three games prior to that game, they were scoring 24 plus points per game. So, yes, they've taken a couple hits on offense, but you're right. They look off. Every time I put any bit of confidence in Jacksonville, they do not cover. I am not going to start trusting them this week. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Baltimore's defense plays good enough that should be able to stop this team. So I'm going to lean and put a little bit trust into just Baltimore and what they have, which has not been very impressive on offense, but I'm going to trust that defense.
This is interesting because I looked ahead at this line last week. It was -3.5, and I was very confused why, because Baltimore had been playing some better football. Jacksonville has looked like, really terrible for probably maybe since week 2, honestly.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why. Maybe the bookmakers had a good read on where Baltimore would be, or they thought the bye week of Jacksonville, but Doug Peterson is only 1-4 against the spread off of a bye. So I'm not sure how much that would matter here.
Yeah.
My initial lean is towards buying low on the Ravens in this spot and buying the under 43.5 and thinking that Jacksonville will struggle and be slow coming off the bye, maybe a first half under 21.5. But I'm struggling to pull the trigger a little bit on Baltimore just because I really don't know where they are as a team right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like this is a random, this shouldn't be a statement game for Baltimore, but it kind of is. They almost need to come out, take care of business. Definitely, they don't even really need to dominate, but they need to win this game in good fashion. It can't be whatever the hell last week was. That needs to get tossed out. They need to fix it, clean things up a little bit, but we'll see. Again, don't feel really confident. I think the under is probably safe. I might be looking more towards team totals in this one.
Interesting. 70% of the bets and 93% of the money is on Baltimore in this game. For whatever that's worth, it means that the public and the sharps are leaning towards Baltimore at this point. All right, let's get to Tampa Bay -3 at the Cleveland Browns. This line has been vacillating between 3 and 3.5 all day. The total is set at 43. Cleveland Browns, I think that they see the future a little bit. They can see Deshaun Watson coming in, but at 3 and 7, they're not really in the playoff picture at this point. Yet they keep fighting. Jacoby Brissett looked great last week against the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, maybe no team in the NFL needed a bye week to gather themselves more than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. Tom Brady gets another week to rest, reprocess, get a little bit healthier on both sides of the ball. I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay at -3, but I'm a little torn in this one. If the Cleveland Browns can get their running game going and keep Brady off the field, I don't know. I could totally see Cleveland winning this game outright.
Yeah, what stops me, Tampa off a bye, right? And then, they had 400 yards of total offense. And I think that was the most functional rushing attack that we've seen since the start of the season, maybe even week 1. Honestly, I can't think of another time that they were showing that their run game can be dominant. Rashad White is obviously becoming this sparkle for their team, and he should really eat against this Cleveland D that's ranked 28th, their rush D. So if Tampa Bay can get the ball on the ground moving, I think that they should have no problem taking care of Cleveland. Is this where Tampa Bay finally turns a full corner and we see them really going for the playoffs and it's Tampa that we thought Tampa was going to be? Probably. I am really struggling with Cleveland +3, though. I don't think I trust Cleveland enough. I can't do it.
Let's see what the numbers say. We got 20% of the bets and 36% of the money is coming on the Browns. Oh my God, this is a perfect Brown spot.
Yeah.
All right, I'm torn. I'm gonna have to release this pick on Friday because I'm not sure. If I get Cleveland +3.5, I might have to jump in on the bandwagon on this one. Oh,
I was just gonna say 3.5. I will. If it's 3.5, I will probably switch the other direction.
Going back, I'm jumping back one game. I forgot to mention. I did bet Jacksonville, Baltimore under 45.5, 43.5 right now in the market. I still think I would probably take it down to 42.5. So just wanted to make sure I put that out there. All right, let's get to the next game. Chicago Bears +4.5 at the New York Jets. Total set at 39.5. This is one of those spots that I usually look towards the underdog because the total is so low, with Chicago being +4.5 and the total being set at 39. However, if this is not Zach Wilson and this is somehow Mike White or Joe Flacco, I love the Jets in this game. The Bears are going to be severely limited. Justin Fields, shoulder injury, collarbone injury, whatever it is, looks like he'll probably be able to play, but they probably are not going to run him as much as they have in weeks past. This Jets defense is a championship caliber defense through and through. The Bears have not faced anything like this in quite a few weeks. And as much as we love Justin Fields and seeing what he's done, and we love the transition to him as a running back, quarterback, Cam Newton 2.0 deal, this Jets defense is different. They haven't seen anything like this. I anticipate that the Bears will not score very many points in this game. I like the under on team total for them. So now it's a matter of, do I think the Jets will be capable enough on offense to cover a 4.5-point spread? A lot of that comes down to who the quarterback is. My belief is that it will not be Zach Wilson this week.
I'm with you, and I think that's why I do lean the Jets between Fields' shoulder and the fact that I'm going to go off assuming that we are probably going to – well, I think we should, given the way that he reacted after that atrocious loss where they got like 2 or 5 total yards in 26 plays in the second half versus New England. Like, it's just unacceptable. Especially if you're not going to take accountability. So if we get one of those other quarterbacks, like we said, I'm all in on the Jets. I think, like you said, their defense is playing at a championship level caliber, and Chicago is not going to be able to withstand that. And if Justin Fields is limited in how much he's running.
Yeah. All right. So we're both on the New York Jets this week. All right, let's get to the next one. Atlanta +4.5 at the Washington Commanders. Total set at 42. I don't really have that much to say on this game. I'm just wondering if we can continue buying stock in the Washington Commanders based on how they're playing. Fading Atlanta on the road this season has been a decent idea. 4 is a little heavy for the lack of points in this game. A total set of 42. My initial lean is towards Washington, though.
I don't know what is wrong with me and my obsession with the Atlanta Falcons. Like, I have a sick obsession and I can't help myself and I don't care. And maybe it's partially my NFC East bias, but it's just Washington winning 5 of their last 6 games is just, it's like funny. It's not funny because they're playing good and it's really their defense, and Heineke is playing very clean football and that's helping them. I just think he's due to start acting a little bit like the backup that he is. Is that going to be at home because he does play very well at home? Maybe not, but I lean Atlanta in this matchup. What's the total at for this game?
42.
I kind of like the over. I could see this end up being a little bit higher scoring of a game, actually, which is probably not the popular opinion.
Let me look at this total right now in the market. Actually, I don't have numbers on this. I know that 39% of the bets are on the over, but I can't tell how much money is on it. So, oh well. That's an interesting angle. I kind of don't hate the over 42. My question about it would be, are both teams going to run the ball enough that they just run the clock? And that field isn't really conducive to overs, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right, let's get to this is an interesting line. Cincinnati -1.5 at the Tennessee Titans, total set at 42.5. Tennessee 10 days off, coming off a win over Green Bay. Cincinnati Bengals, they beat the Titans in the playoffs last year in Tennessee. This line is fishy as all hell. Everyone thinks that the Tennessee Titans should be favored in this game, which makes my DGen brain go, books know something. This is like the Cowboys-Vikings game last week. I think the bet is the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that at all. It seems like Cincinnati has kind of pulled it together here. Tannehill is also very suspiciously playing very un-Tannehill-like football, not turning the ball over. This is a playoff rematch. Probably, I think, one of the best matchups on this entire slate. It should be a good game. What worries me is Cincinnati was very, very close to just losing to Kenny Pickett. That concerns me a little bit. I think that if Tennessee can add pressure to Burrow, then they have a better chance. But Cincinnati is kind of keeping teams on their toes without Jamar Chase a little bit because you don't know what you're going to get. And I don't know if that's been helping them on offense a little bit because their competition can't plan as well. I'm not ready to bet on this game, honestly, but I'm going to keep my eye on it.
So Cincinnati -1.5 on the road against a good Tennessee Titans team that everybody's high on. They just had a big win. The line's the exactly same. The situation's exactly the same. This is literally Cowboys-Vikings 2.0.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get trapped. Everyone's going to get trapped into this Tennessee +1.5, +110 money line, bringing it up to +7.5 as a teaser piece. I'm not going to do what I've done. I'm not going to say it. I'm just saying Cincinnati, I think, is going to be a big bet for me this week. I think the situation sets up really nicely. Remember, this line has moved towards the Bengals, and we don't know if Joe Mixon's going to be fully healthy or in for this game. This is tight. The spidey senses are going off in my head right now.
This is a big game. Like, if the Bengals can, here, I'll say it. You don't want to say it. Like, I think you want me to say it, I will. I think that Cincinnati could easily win this game by 10 points. Like, that could end up happening. If they get hot, why not? Because what does Tennessee have? Well, I will say they have been passing the ball a little bit more effectively, and that's a little bit of hearsay that they haven't. Like, they've been getting Treylon Burks involved. They have weapons there that they're working into the system. But what do they have? They really have their defense and Derrick Henry. And we've seen Derrick Henry in the beginning of the season be able to be shut down. So if you can eliminate Derrick Henry, force Tannehill to throw the ball, have him make mistakes, we've seen Cincinnati do this before this season. They could easily beat them by 10 points.
One last point on this before we move on. 30% of the bets and 74% of the money is coming in on the Bengals. That is the biggest differential on the board. The Sharps are hammering. We're all in. This is so bad for us.
I'm all in.
Oh, God. All right, let's get to the next one, and we will spend exactly 7 seconds on this game. Denver Broncos -2.5 versus the Carolina Panthers. Total set at 35. Hard pass.
How many shitty games are on this slate? How many shitty games? This is ridiculous. Okay, this is a defense versus defense battle. Broncos just lost to the Raiders. Whoop-de-doo. Don't care on either side what that means for either of those teams, but they basically left Devontae Adams just alone to get a 35-yard touchdown in OT. What's hilarious is Denver waived Melvin Gordon as if that's the biggest problem they have. Yes, he has fumbled the ball in bad situations. I got it. But again, Denver Broncos, your biggest problem is not Melvin Gordon fumbling the ball. And I promise you that. I kind of think this is a situation for everyone to see that wasn't the problem. I kind of like the Carolina plus, what was it, 2.5? I think it was 2.5 last time I looked.
Plus 2.5. Yeah.
And I like it more if they put PJ Walker back in. They put PJ Walker back in, I'll take Carolina's money line. I'm all in. I don't care. I cannot with these Denver Broncos. They need another team that needs to be humbled. Their fans are quite annoying.
Oh, yeah. I'm married to one. 50% of the bets and 82% of the money is on the Carolina Panthers in this game. I might be on the Panthers money line as well. All right, let's move over to the afternoon slate. Raiders plus 3.5 at the Seattle Seahawks. Total set at 47.5. Seahawks coming off of a bye. This is a Raiders spot. I know that this is a Raiders spot. Plus Raiders plus 3.5. Got to do it.
Yep, it is. And you want to know why? Because this is where we see Seattle start acting like the Seattle we thought we were going to see. This is kind of like the Giants, what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's now more than halfway through the season, and these teams are starting to show why everyone wasn't as high on them going into the season. The Raiders just had one of their better games, actually. Carr played, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Jacobs also just won. I just want to have one moment for him. Like, people need to throw respect at his name. Again, putting up another 100-plus yards on the ground game. Fantastic. I think Seattle really, they lose to the Bucs. They have their bye. That's fine. But I just think the Raiders, this is a good spot. This is a good spot for them. And no, it just doesn't just scream Raiders.
It screams Raiders, absolutely, and the over.
And if not, I could see Seattle winning by like a fat margin, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's 2 outcomes in this game, and I think
this is kind of alluded to it perfectly. This is a macro view bet. Where do we think the Raiders were going to be before the season? Where do we think the Seahawks are going to be before the season? Now we're getting 3.5 points at Seattle. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders plus 3.5 and the money line, honestly, at plus 165 as well. All right. 3 more games on the board for us. Chargers minus 4.5 at the Arizona Cardinals. Total set at 47.5. This line is egregiously high towards the Chargers, which makes me think that I have to bet the Chargers. I don't know what's going on in Arizona. I don't know if Kyler's going to play. I don't know that I like the Chargers more or less if Kyler plays at this point. I'm a little suspect on the Chargers defense, but the offense, even with Keenan Allen back, Mike Williams out fine. That offense is much different with Keenan Allen in the game. I like the over 47.5. I don't know about the 4.5 though right now. How about you?
Yeah, I don't like the 4.5 either. I don't know. Something about this game just doesn't settle well, because do I want to bet against a desperate home team that's a dog? I don't know. I don't like this game. I hate everything about it. Like, the Chargers should absolutely win this game. Poor Colt McCoy was getting his ass handed to him. We saw that. He probably wants to retire. So if Kyler plays, I think they're in a better spot, obviously. I mean, Arizona is pretty much dead at this point. So kind of gross. Might just lean the Chargers. I like the over 2 here.
91% of the bets, 94% of the money is coming on the Chargers. So I got to dig a little bit deeper into this one. This might be a Chargers smash spot. I got to read into that. All right. 2 more games. New Orleans Saints plus 9 at the San Francisco 49ers. Total set at 43. This is my best total of the week. Over 42.5 in this game. That Saints defense stinks. They're not good. And we've seen San Francisco's offense. They're humming right now, and they're going to hum even more against the Saints. The Saints will be able to put up a couple points against San Francisco. Minus 9. I'm probably not going to touch either side there. If you want to tease San Francisco from 9-3, great. Have at it. But I love the over 42.5 in this game.
Me too. I'm with you on that. I don't want a side in this either. I think the 49ers look like true Super Bowl contenders. Jimmy G is also another guy. Like, let's throw a little bit of respect. He's actually playing some great football right now, and you're seeing what that's doing for this star-studded team. Saints D sucks. I don't know. We also never know what Saints we're going to get. So that's why I also steer clear of a side. I'm not going to trust either of these teams to cover this. So I like the over for sure here. Super impressed with 49ers though. I think they're really putting it all together.
49ers are, without a doubt in my mind, the team to beat in the NFC right now, and the 3rd best team in the NFL, no questions for me. All right, last game on board for us. Rams plus 14.5 at the Kansas City Chiefs. Total set at 44. Bryce Perkins looks like he will be the starter in this game. I think that actually may be a positive for them because they'll get the ground game going a little bit. Saw Cam Akers maybe flash a little bit against the Saints. They're still a team without Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. This team is lost. They don't care anymore. I think that they've completely quit on the season. Will they try versus Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. I'm not betting 14.5, but I kind of like the over 44.
I do kind of like the over 40. Kind of. I don't know. The Rams are toast. And they're not just toast like this week. They're not toast next week. They're not just toast this season. Like, they're toast for the next fucking 5 years. They're in a really, really bad spot because Matt Stafford's probably going to retire. That's probably going to lead to McVay also going to TV. This team, they have no picks for a million years. They're in a bad, bad spot right now. I'm not going to take that. This is too many points. Not going to do it. I think that the over is definitely interesting here. I think we're going to hear a lot of this any given Sunday bullshit for this game. That doesn't apply here. That doesn't apply to these Rams. Kansas City will win this game.
55% of the bets and 98% of the money is coming in on the Rams. So I might end up on this plus 14.5. Yeah, just as a Chiefs had a big game against the Chargers, big win.
It's true.
They'll be checked out. Mahomes, they didn't cover last week. Mahomes is a big favorite, is terrible against the spread. So
have they covered at home yet this season? I don't think they have.
I don't know, but
because I said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they didn't cover. They haven't covered the last 2 weeks.
So they haven't covered at home yet this season. I don't think.
Yeah.
Never mind.
14.5.
I'm lying. I lied. I'm on the Rams.
We're going to the grossest bet on the board. We were both going to be on the Los Angeles Rams plus 14.5. Oh God. All right. We have one more video coming up. We're going to preview Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Stay tuned for that. Good luck with all of your bets this Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, and we will talk to you soon. See you.
See you guys.